Welcome to Sammy C. Press. Today we're diving back into something more than Shakespeare, Poetry Workbook. We're going to be talking about two poets today. The first is Walter de la Mare. The second is Wallace Stevens. So let's jump in with Walter. He was born in 1875 and he died in 1956. He was born in southeast London. Walter was known for his strange writing style that was often compared to another poet by the name of William Blake. That name should sound familiar because we discussed him last time. This comparison was due to the dreamlike qualities of both of their poems. Walter's poems were often atmospheric, slightly scary with a touch of mystery. His poems contained subjects such as dreams, death, and wonder of childhood. One of his interesting poems here is called The Window. Beyond the blinds I sit and watch, the people passing by, and not a single one can see my tiny watching eye. They cannot see my little room, all yellowed with the shaded sun. They do not even know I'm here, nor guess when I'm gone. He also has many other poems, some for childhood as well. Feel free to explore and learn more about Walter de la Mare and his awesome poems. The next person we're going to be discussing is Wallace Stevens. He was born in 1879 and he died in 1955. He was born in Reading, Pennsylvania. He went to Harvard Law School. He argued with fellow poet Robert Frost. He even broke his hand while punching Ernest Hemingway. Wallace Stevens is one of America's most respected 20th century poets. He had an extensive vocabulary, was a master stylist, and very precise in his writing of poems. Wallace diligently explored the idea of poetry, bringing a masterful fusion of objects, reality, and creative imagination. Wallace is sometimes considered to be a difficult poet because of his extreme technical and thematic subjects. Wallace was also an esteemed abstractionist. In poetry, my dear reader, abstraction refers to the thought that is expressed without a concrete image. This is an interesting course for Wallace to take, since abstract thought had been avoided in poetry, instead using metaphor or an image. He also was known for being a poet that causes people to think seriously about something. Stevens lived during the Great Depression, but unlike the many Americans who suffered or had to get their meals from trash cans, if they were even able to find any, Wallace was financially independent. He worked as an insurance executive. Today, $20,000 a year is considered poverty level. Yet his income in 2016 would have been that of $350 million. He won the Pulitzer Prize for Poetry for his collected poems in 1955, as well as other numerous awards. The poem, 13 Ways of Looking at a Blackbird, can be viewed as a series of haiku-like poems, or as an images poem. Think of the poem as both a longer poem with 13 sections, or as a group of 13 shorter poems. The sections go together, but they can work by themselves. It is a poem about the thought that we all have individual and unique perspectives, and how individual points of view shape our own reality. As we read Wallace's complex poems, remember, the poem has a symbolic meaning. The blackbird can represent intrigue and mystery, as well as the interconnectedness, since the blackbird is both separate from nature and also a central part of it. Now, it is a bit of a longer poem. We have it included in the workbook, but you can also Google it and find it to be able to read through the 13 stanzas on your own. I hope you have enjoyed the discussion of Walter de la Mare and Wallace Stevens today. Until next time.